Hello everyone, welcome to Semi Homesteading with Abby. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Basically, I am a suburban gal who is trying to learn as many homesteading, homemaking, and motherhood skills as possible. Cooking, sewing, cleaning, composting, gardening, anything that falls into those categories, I want to learn. Today, honestly, we are just gonna get into the Christmas spirit. Christmas is around the corner. I thought that it was time to do a gift guide for the aspiring homesteader in your life. I did one of these last year, but over the course of this whole year of trying to learn new skills, I've come up with a bigger and better list that you can gift the aspiring homesteader. You know, I feel like homesteading is becoming kind of a trend, especially after 2020, and people are trying to be a little bit more self-sustaining and self-reliant. And so I think some of these items will be very practical that the person in your life can use on a daily basis. I really try to cut down on clutter in my house. Not perfect at it, but every so often I like to go through and declutter everything. So I'm not just forgetting a bunch of just stuff that we don't need, but I'm really about the practical and useful items that people will use in their everyday lives and enjoy it while they use it. Let's get into our Christmas gift guide. Okay, I kind of did this in categories. So the first category is gardening. Of course, there's kind of the obvious things like gloves, a gardening set, you know, like the tools and stuff. What you can also do if someone has an established garden is get a seed organizer. So a lot of people will buy seeds in bulk beforehand and kind of catalog them up. So when the new growing season comes, they can have it organized and go through their packets of seeds and see what they're gonna grow this year. So some sort of organization system would be great for a gardener. Also things like a watering can that's really cute if they have kind of an old and not so great watering can or no watering can at all, get them a cute watering can. I've also seen these like little cushioned stool things almost, so that when you're in the garden, you can have something to kneel on that's a little bit softer or sit on. Always very helpful. Those are my gardening items. Now, kind of going along with that, I thought it'd be really great to get someone, or to receive, honestly, a flour mill. I want to grow a little bit of wheat next year and hopefully harvest the wheat and then have those wheat berries that I can put in a flour mill and grind my own flour. How cool would it be to have a loaf of bread that you have literally ground the wheat into flour and then made the bread out of the flour that you just ground? I think that would be amazing. Also, even if you're not growing your own wheat, a lot of people buy the wheat berries because they can stay fresh for longer and then they just grind their own flour as they go. So I think that would be really a great gift. As a side note, some of these, because they're on like my Christmas wish list, I haven't actually used them. Some of them I have, some of them I haven't. I'm just gonna link the one with the highest and best reviews. A lot of these ones on Amazon have like thousands of reviews, so I feel pretty good about the quality. Kind of going along with the gardening slash preserving of foods, a dehydrator. It's a little bit more expensive for sure, but if you have the budget and that's kind of like your big gift, a dehydrator is such a great gift. You can make like fruit leather, you can preserve, you know, all your vegetables, and just a lot of people love a dehydrator. Also, a pressure canner or water boiled canning set is always good. A lot of mason jars are really always good, especially if you know that your aspiring homesteader would like to can and preserve their own food. Anything canning related is a great idea. Okay, back to cooking. Once you've preserved your food, now you're gonna use it. Anything cooking or kitchen related, honestly, is probably good, and maybe they have a lot of kitchen supplies, but I feel like you can always have a great upgrade. I've been seeing these amazing pots and pans and accessories from Le Creuset. Now, specifically what I put on my Christmas list, which may or may not be useful depending on how much you drink tea or need hot water, I found this amazing whistling tea kettle. Right now we just use an electric boiler to boil our water, but I just feel like even though this one might take a little bit longer, I need to use this. It's just so pretty. I suggested it in the color Roan because we got a Roan pot last year, so trying to add to my collection, but any one of the collections of Le Creuset, you know, depending on what your aspiring homesteader or you would like, or any gaps in the kitchen, either serving dishes, which are always fun. Like I love kind of a cheesy Christmas serving dish. I can't lie, I do like that. Or you could get like, you know, if you're going on the more expensive side, you could get like a Dutch oven. Or there's like these very specific sourdough baking pots and pans. So that's a good option. But if you want to go on the less expensive side, there are plenty of options there. There's like really cool mugs that go with the color scheme of all the other Le Creuset items. There's these little tiny Dutch ovens almost. They're called something else. I will link them and show you a picture. But you can put like a souffle in them or a little dessert or an individual soup. They also have like a pie dish, which is so pretty. Again, in the roan color, I love the pie dish. So really any kitchenware or serving dish or cookware is a great option. A cast iron skillet, like honestly, cannot go wrong. All of those would be great. Another thing I've been kind of eyeing, which would be really fun, especially for summer, is the KitchenAid ice cream maker attachment. So it's like this bowl that I think you freeze and then you make the ice cream in there. So you can make it really customizable, make your own flavors. It's gonna be so fun. And I think that's just like a very, very good gift. If you know they're interested in sewing, you could go sewing machine, a sewing kit, fabric scissors. Recently, what I put on my list is a mat and a rotary cutter because I am trying to get more into quilting, but then also just sewing in general. And I love not having to cut with the fabric scissors on these corners. I'd rather just, you know, have a nice smooth cut. So I actually put a mat and a rotary cutter on my Christmas list. But basically, you know, if you go to like a fabric store or a craft store and you kind of know the general idea of the hobbies that they want to get into, there's going to be a lot of good ideas there. So there's a ton of accessories, obviously, snaps, elastic, like you could put together a whole little sewing kit for not a ton of money. You get some fabric that's pretty cost efficient. So there are many, many options in the sewing realm, but those are a few specifics. Another fun gift that I gifted my husband last year and that he put on his list were camping or survival supplies. So we got like a little pot that you can cook over a fire that kind of packs up really nice and small. Lantern sets, any like emergency food pack or food prep books or anything that is kind of preppy, like you're a prepper almost, is usually a good homesteading gift. That may seem like a weird Christmas gift, but if you are kind of trying to get into homesteading and trying to make sure like you have kind of some backup plans if the power goes out or something, that is a very practical, good gift that a aspiring homesteader would probably love, especially if you can double and use it for a camping trip. Like a tent, sleeping bag, any of those like camping accessories would be great. Moving into other areas of homesteading or other skills you want to learn, a woodworking set is a really fun gift. You can obviously get like big power tools or things, you know, if your budget is higher, or like little shaving sets, little knife sets, and have like a whole woodworking little kit. Maybe a woodworking book would be really cool. Along those same lines, archery related items are really fun. Obviously, you could spend like thousands of dollars on a bow, so maybe you don't want to exactly do that, but you could get like targets. You could splurge and get the bow, you know, if that's your jam this year. You could get them an archery lesson. Now, all of these I feel like could get paired with experiences. So things like an archery class or a cooking class or a sewing class or anything where you're just learning about a new skill is also a great idea because they get that experience and actually learn the skill, which is really good too. Candle making sets are always a great idea. So there are whole sets where you can get like the wicks and the beeswax and all of the things like the double boiler to melt down the wax, all of that sort of thing. You could also pair it with some essential oils if you would like. Make sure to look up which essential oils are okay to breathe in while they're heated. Someone just left me a comment about that the other day, and I didn't know that some of them can be toxic when you breathe them in and they're hot. So just look that up, but I think most are really safe. And then honestly, I have found a lot of candle vessels that I like at just a thrift store. So again, if you're on a budget, thrifting candle vessels and getting an inexpensive wick set is a very useful and fun idea for your homesteader. A compost bin or compost machine is another useful one. I've been so bad at actually using my compost and I need to go check on my compost. And so I don't know if I would necessarily recommend my compost bin that I got because I don't really think it does much. Mine is the one that you like tumble around. Not that I've been great at tumbling it, so it's probably just a me problem, but there are various ways to compost. Now there's these really fancy kind of like on-counter compost bins that will compost your stuff in like a couple hours, or you could get the more old-fashioned tumbler compost bins, or I have a better recommendation for a compost bin that seems to work much better, but it is like a rotating composter. Being, you know, self-sufficient and kind of more regenerative is definitely kind of a tenet of homesteading, so having a compost is a great thing to gift an aspiring homesteader. And the last thing I have on this list, although I'm sure there's 1,000 more things that could be useful to a homesteader, but I keep seeing the cutest clothes, like hoodies and sweatshirts. There's ones with like all these chickens on the front, or, you know, different types of flowers, like very, very cool and unique, kind of vintage looking hoodies. I would highly recommend just like scouring Instagram or just Googling, because there's all these little boutiques and companies that are really starting to cater to kind of like the country hoodie vibe. And I really, really like it. Now you could also get things like aprons or overalls or rain boots or working boots. Like you could get the practical things, but I have just been really obsessed with these chicken hoodies, and I think I might have to get one soon. I'm like this close to caving. All right, well that is it for my gift guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this gave you some good ideas. I know obviously that there are a ton more ideas, so if you have something you think an aspiring homesteader would absolutely love, drop it in the comments below. Help everyone out, because we gotta be buying some good gifts this year. We want practical things that fit with a minimalist lifestyle, but practical, something that they can use. So that is all for this week's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Next week, I am posting my decorating for Christmas video. We have been decorating for Christmas as of right now for like 2 weeks. We actually decorated before Halloween. Don't judge us. But I wanted to wait till we had like our Christmas fest, and I was baking Christmas goodies to film that to put in the video as well. So that is coming next week, but I'm definitely an early Christmas decorator, so I can't wait to show you what we have done to the place, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye everyone.